Hey, hi everyone. In this video, we'll see how to create a mule project. In the last video, we've seen how to set up Anypoint Studio. Now we'll see how to create a mule project. Just go to the file, click on new. In that, we have multiple things. Here we can see the first one, mule project. We can create a Java project, mule domain project, a normal project, and mule configuration file. We'll see one by one later. Right now I want to show you how to create a mule project. Just click on that mule project. Here it will ask for the project name, so I will give as 01 mule basics. Okay, I want to create a project with a mule basics. And runtime, as I said in the last session, your Anypoint Studio will come along with the latest version of a runtime at that point of time when they're releasing Anypoint Studio. Now the latest version is 4.2.2, the runtime, where we are going to deploy your 01 Mule Basics application. If you want multiple runtimes, if you want to deploy this 01 Mule Basics application on different runtime, just click on this install runtimes. There you can see Anypoint Studio Enterprise runtimes, third one. Just click on that, expand it. You can see the versions we have, right? Now this is already acting as a plugin to your Anypoint Studio. If you want to add one more plugin, one more server, just click on that and click on next, and you can finish it up. It will be also added as a runtime, as a plugin to your Anypoint Studio. You can see as a drop down. I mean, you can see as a list of runtimes here. You can select either of the one to deploy your Mule Basics application. Right now, I'm going with the default one, Mule Server 4.2.2 Enterprise Edition. Right now, again, we can see here API specifications is not related as of now. And when we discuss about APIs, we can see about how to get the APIs from the design center and how to import your APIs to Anypoint Studio. Right now, this is have called flow from these APIs, as also when you select, it will be acting that. And we have a project location. By default, whatever the workspace you have given, okay, while you are installing Anypoint Studio, that workspace will be taken as a default location to store your project. Right now it is a default location. If you want to browse, and if you want to select, if you want to save it in some other location, you can click on browse. Right now you want to go with the default, use default location and click on finish. See, on the right side bottom, you can see adding HTTP dependencies for the particular project. All the modules and dependencies which are related to this mule projects are getting imported. Once it gets imported 100%, then you can see some structure. This is nothing but a Maven structure. In Mule 4, if I create any project, it's a Mule project, it's nothing but a Maven project. If you have some knowledge on Maven, you can understand this point, right? So this is a Maven structure. By default, whenever you create a Mule application, you will be getting a two connectors, two modules by default to a project. One is HTTP and one is socket, right? Let me explain each and every part here. SRC main mule. Just to expand it, by default, one configuration XML has been created with a project name. If you want to change the XML name, right click on that, just click on refactor and rename it. It will be refactored as I want to give us basics. By default, it's an XML file, right? Now just open that. We can see one basics.xml. This is nothing but a canvas. What I'm showing here is nothing but a canvas. Every XML which has been created, you can see three parts: message flow, global elements, and configuration XML. Right now, whenever you create any XML, by default, this tags has been created in the configuration XML tab. Okay, message flow tab, just to write configurations like drag and drop the connectors. We'll see that part later. First, let me go through each and every part in this package explorer. When you create a project, under SRC main mule, source main mule, SRC means source. So whatever the mule applications you are going to create, XML files will be stored under this SRC main mule. And if your system is having, if your project is having some legacy Java applications, or Java classes that will be placed under this, and we can consume methods present in it. We can consume, we can use the Java class once you place under this src main Java. And once you expand this src resources, you can see my Mule application by default use log4j framework for logging the all the info logs or error logs, whatever it is. For the logging purpose, it's used log4j framework. And src main resources, this folder is used to place any dependency files like property file, YAML file, XML files, any other files, text files, JSON files, everything you can place under the src main resources. Okay, these are for the development. Right now we can see under that src test Java. If you want to write any test cases for Java, you can write under this src test Java. If you want to write any Mule test cases for your Mule application, then you can write under this src test munit. We have separate session for munit. There we will discuss about that, how to create a suite for the your test cases, right? How to create a test case, unit test casing, integration test casing. We'll discuss about all the stuff in a munit framework sessions. Next, we can see resources in the testing environment. If you have any dependency files, you can place under the src test resources. Right, this is a package explorer. What you want to place in a dependency file or main configuration file or any testing resources file, these are the folders which you used. And we can see http connector. By default, we can have this http module and socket module as a dependencies to your project by default. If you want to add any other module, on the right side we have a Mule palette. Mule palette is also contains two parts. One is on the left side we have modules, add modules. At this Anypoint Studio level, what are the modules available, we can see by clicking on this add modules. If you want to get it from the exchange, just you need to click on the search in exchange, and you need to have Anypoint platform account. That part we'll discuss later, how to create an account and how to search for that. This is a project level, nothing but on the left side you can see by default we have http and a socket modules. You need to understand the difference between socket and a connector, sorry, module and a connector. HTTP, socket, all these are modules. For HTTP we have connectors, for socket we have connectors. Every module will have some connectors. Connectors are which connects external systems to your application, right? Connecting. So modules, every module will have some connectors, right? Now you can see JRE system library JD, which is pointing to JDK 1.8. In the last session we set up some environment variables which are pointing to JDK 1.8. This is the one to run your application. Of course my Mule application is totally written on Java by using a Spring framework, right? So we require JDK with the JRE actually to run JRE required, which is present in a JDK. That's why it is pointing to JDK. And Mule server to run your Mule server. Okay, this is nothing but a library. Again, you can just expand it. You can see the jar files here. And we can see pom.xml. Just expand this pom.xml. See, just let me expand it. Your project will be identified by two parts. One is by using a group ID, one is by artifact ID, right? My artifact ID name is nothing but a project name, and it's a domain name. Group ID is nothing but a domain name. If you have a knowledge on Maven, you can understand this. The version of your project is 1.0 by default, right? Under that we can see some dependencies. As I said, two modules are added as a dependencies by default. We can see HTTP connector and a socket connector, right? Now this is about a package explorer. Now just come back to the basics.xml, right? Now let me create a small project, hello world project, right? Let me explain within a picture. Right, now I want a response as an hello world, or else everyone are using hello world. Right now I'll use welcome to MuleSoft. This is a simple text I want as a response from the application, right? So I assume that I am giving some HTTP request, right? So I'm getting some HTTP request. I'm going to design some mule application. Assume that this is a mule application. So I'm getting some HTTP request. Right? Now, this HTTP request should listen by some component. Right? This component is listening for incoming request on port called by default 8081. 8081. Right? Now what is this component is doing? This component is listening. So I will call this as a listener. What type of request it is listening for? HTTP request. So I will call this as an HTTP listener. And I will call this as an inbound endpoint. Inbound endpoint because it is accepting the request into the flow. That's why I'll call it an inbound endpoint. A typical flow in Mule application, everything is about a flow, right? A flow contains three parts. Source, process, error handling. Right now, I just ignore about error handling. I'm just discussing about a source and a process part. Source means where I'm going to get a request, where we configure inbound endpoints, continuously listening for the request once it is deployed. Now, I will configure a processor called set payload. That means a transformer called set payload. Don't try to understand what are these components. Try to understand the basic flow, how it works behind the scenes. When I configure a HTTP listener, it is listening for the request, and the responsibility of this request is what? Now, normally when you get a request, one message will be created, that is now HTTP message. Every message will have some header and a body. Now, this listener, inbound endpoints listener responsibility is converting the plain request to mule related message. These headers will be flowed as an attributes, and this body will be flowed as a payload in a mule message. Right? Now, from the listener, we are getting some mule message. Normally, no, I just told for explanation purpose, I told that is a mule message. Normally, it will create some event. What is the structure of an event? What is an event? First of all, an event contains two parts. One is mule message and one is variable. Now, what is the structure of a message? Attributes. From here I am telling attributes and payload. Finally, what is an event structure? Attributes, payload and variable. Right? From HTTP listener, we are getting finally some event. What type of event? Empty payload, empty message, sorry, empty attribute and empty variables. By using this set payload, okay, transformer, the component, I am going to set a value for this payload. What is the value I want to set? Welcome to MuleSoft. So by using this component, I am going to set a payload. Now after this component, what will be the event structure? Empty attributes. A payload value is welcome to MuleSoft and a variable value is empty. Right? Now I just simply write a logger to extract the payload value. From set payload itself, the payload will be given back to the client. Who is giving the client back to the client? This listener itself. So I will call this set payload as an outbound endpoint. Logger is not an outbound endpoint. Just I will writing this logger to display the response on the console of your Anypoint Studio. Before going to the client, if you want to see the response on the console, you can just use the logger and some DWL expression called. I will tell you what is the DWL expression when I show practically. Right? Now, whenever you give a request, HTTP request, A listener is listening for the request, and it is converting the mule message to mule event. That event contains the structure of event is attributes, payload, and variables. By using a set payload transform, I'm setting the variable value, sorry, payload value, and that I'm displaying. I'm sending back to the client, right? Let me show you this practically in Anypoint Studio. I have created a project, and my project having some basics.xml configuration file. So just click on this HTTP module, and we have some listener connector. Just drag and drop this listener, and every connector will have some connector configurations. We need to configure that. Right now we have a connector configured for this listener. Just click on this plus sign. Right now it's an HTTP, and 0000 represents a host, a local host, and 8081 is a port. By default it is listening for. If you want to change, you can change at here itself. And if you click on test connection, if at all your 8081 port is not available, it will throw some error. If you want, you can try it out. It will take some time, that's why I'm not clicking on that. Just click on OK. And what is the path it is listening at? Just write like /demo. And once I forgot to tell you here, just come down, there is a base path. By default it's representing to, by default is a slash. If you are explicitly writing a slash or not writing a slash, it doesn't matter, right? That is a base path. Now the path for this flow is /demo, and always write the flow names meaningful. So I will write this flow as a main flow. Okay, now we can change the name like this. Just click on that and change the name, and we have a listener configuration. I have set the listener configuration as well, right? Now what is the next component here? Set payload transformer. You can get that set payload transformer under this core module, or else you can directly get from the module section. So sorry, not get from the module section, only from the core. In that core we have different kind of components where we can write some business logics. So these are all the components. Right now I want a set payload which is under the transformer. Just drag and drop the set payload transformer here on the process part. Right, before that just go to the configuration XML, that third tab here. Now we have created one flow name is main flow, and in that we have configured a listener. Right, after that we have configured some set payload. Right, these are all part of a flow. Right, now this listener which I configured is representing to what? HTTP listener config, which is outside of the flow. You can see here. All right, that means it is pointing to HTTP listener config. The configurations which I have done in the configurations, in the HTTP listener configurations, all are global elements. The global elements are per project, right? If you create one more XML under the SRC main view, you can access this HTTP listener over there. Now you can see that second tab, global elements, one HTTP listener configuration is present here. If you want to edit it, just click on that and click on edit button. The same configurations you can see there, right? Now we'll see that after, we'll discuss about that global elements later. Right now the corresponding code, whenever you drag and drop any connector, corresponding code has been generated behind the scenes, right? Those are referring to global elements which is outside the flow, right? Now what is the next one? Set payload. I want to set a payload value here, so just click on the set payload. If you click on the set payload, you can see the value, and there is a button called FX button. Right now this FX is in which mode? Expression mode. In Mule 4 we are going to use data view expressions, right? These are the expression language which we are going to use. Right now it is an expression mode. We'll see that expression mode afterward. The syntax for writing expression is hash 2 square brackets. Whatever you write in between that, those are DWL expressions. Payload is also nothing but one of the keyword over there. Right now I don't want to use that. I want to switch to literal mode. That means string mode, plain text mode. Now if you click on this button, I will come back to the expression mode. If you click on this fx again, I will come to the literal mode. Two modes are available. Right now I want to set payload as welcome to MuleSoft. I will write as a plain text, welcome to MuleSoft. Right now I'm setting this as a payload, because this set payload is having some event contains some payload attributes and variables. In that payload I'm setting up value. Next, as for the use case, I will use a logger after this set payload, and here I'm clicking on this expression mode. As I said, payload is pay control space. Your intelligence window will work and will give the keyword of a data view expression. Now it's a payload. It is extracting the value of the payload before the queue. Actually, there will be a queue in between internally. It will keep it in some internal queue. All the event will be keep it in some queue. Whatever you write here, a payload, it will extract the value from the queue. What is the value here in the payload? Welcome to MuleSoft. Okay, that value will be extracted. Now you can see the payload, the value is extracting. Now this logger is responsible to show the response on the console, but who is giving to the client the response back to the client? The set payload. This set payload is giving response back to the client, to the listener. In this listener, if you just click on the listener, there is a responses tab. Just if you click on the responses tab, there are two things. If it is successful, my application is successful, by default it will throw whatever the value, whatever the payload at the end of the flow, it is thrown as a response. By default the status code will be 200 and reason phrase is okay. If you want to change, you can change, override it. Or else if it throws any exceptions, by default the exception is in text. The response is in exception response is in plain text, and you can see the description of the error that we will see when we talk about exception handling. Right now we are showing that it's a successful, so we'll see the response in a client level. Right now if you want to send a HTTP request, I am using an Postman as a third party application to send some REST calls. So how to use a Postman? You can directly go to the browser and just download the Postman. Okay, just download the Postman from here. Okay, you can download it for 62 or 32-bit. Once you download, just you can execute it. Already downloaded, I'm just executing for you. You can use the browser as well, any browser, but the browser doesn't know the response type. Some browser knows the response type, some browser doesn't know the response types. So better to use a Postman in order to get some responses. Right now I am using a Postman here. Now I will use a GET request and HTTP localhost 8081, which is my application is listening at. And what is the path? Path is I have given a demo. Let me cross check it before giving a request. Go to the general tab and /demo. Correct. Right. If I give a request, it will, as per this request, it just straight away come to the port, and in that port, what is that path? Demo. If you create one more flow, and that for that flow also the port you can select as 8081, but you need to select a different path. Based on the path, it will segregate to the flow. Right now I'm using a single flow and /demo. And before that I want to deploy this application. As I said, you want to deploy this application in the previous session. When you are creating a project itself, we have selected 4.2.2, which is a default one. So simply right click on the XML, click on run project, it will be deployed. The second way is right click on the project level, run as, just click on this run as. mule application, right? And or else if you want to select run as on the top, just click on the drop down, run as. You can create a mule application. There are many ways, simple ways. Right click on the XML and create a, deploy the mule application. First it will build a Maven project. Once a build is successful, then it is going to deploy into the mule server 4.2.2. Which application? 0.01 mule basics application, the project name. These info logs and warn logs all are from the mule server. If you want to cross check, you can cross check. These are the jar files it is picking up and displaying here. Once it is deployed successfully, you can see the status as in deployed under domain, default domain by default. I will talk about domains as well as on later part. And application is what? 01 mule basics application. So it is deployed successfully. Now go to the Postman and give a request. Of course, I have shown the very basic part in order to make you to understand what is going behind the scenes by using this picture. Hope you understand this one. What is the inbound endpoint? What is an outbound endpoint? And what is the responsibility of an inbound endpoint? What is an event? What is an event process? See, who is processing the particular event? Particular processor. We can call this outbound endpoint as a processor. So what is this processor is doing? It is processing some event. So we can call this outbound endpoint as an event processor. So you know what is an event processor, what is a mule event, what is a payload. I have not discussed about attributes and variables. In coming sessions, we will discuss about all the stuff. Right now, we understand how a mule event driven approach is propagating from one processor to another processor, the responsibility of the source, what are the process part, right? So let me check. Yeah, we got a response on the client level. Welcome to MuleSoft. Just go to the Anypoint Studio and check the logger also displayed the response. Welcome to MuleSoft. Right, this is what I want to explain in this video. Hope you understand. If you like my video, just click on that, click on like, and if you have any queries, please comment out. And one more thing, how to stop the server right now, just click on this red button. It will terminate your server. You can see the log as well. Request received request to stop runtime. That's it. And if you want to clear this all the data, right click on the data, the open space, and clear it up. It will be clear. If you can deploy as a fresh application again. Always my suggestion is, whenever you completed with your once you get the deployment successful, then you can simply stop the server for every execution while developing stage. Okay, thanks for watching the video. Thank you guys.